that I've shown you the layering process of an illustrated scene with the sailboat scene, and you understand layers, you understand shapes, you understand overlapping your shapes, I'm not going to take it for granted that you really did learn everything just yet. I want you to prove it to me. So I'm going to go to File and Open one more time. I've started a final Illustrator file here for Chapter 3. I'm going to go to my desktop and find my Chapter 3 folder, and in folder 3.4, I've started an alien scene. I'll click right there. I'll open it, and it says instructions. Just like you did with the sailboat scene before, please recreate this alien scene. I would highly suggest that you follow the numbered order indicated in the scan and draw the objects on their corresponding numbered layers, just like I did for you with the sailboat. Finish the scene by using any colors you want to make this illustration come to life. I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Like our little alien here, you are on your own. Good luck, Earthling. So let me give you just a couple of starter hints. I'm going to start with number 1, the sky, just like I did with the sailboat. I'm going to hit D for default colors, click on my rectangle, start outside the edge of the illustration. I'm going to click and drag the sky down into the mountains, down in the ground. And again, I can go to swatches, swatch libraries, gradients, and sky gradients. Since it's an alien scene, maybe I'll pick this purple to orange, like that. I go to my gradient tool. I can hold Shift and drag down, so I get a sky like that. I don't like that real hard bar of color right there, so I'll go over here. Shift and drag all the way down. There we go, a little smoother. Go to my black arrow. Don't need the sky gradients anymore, and I don't need that layer kept on, so I'll turn it off. Number 2 is the little moon and planets. So I'm going to show you a trick for this. I'm going to go to number 2, D for default colors. These will eventually not be white, so I'm going to click on white, hit the question mark key, and I'll go to my ellipse tool. If you start from the center, Shift for a circle and Option or Alt key to start from the center, and I'll drag one right there. Shift and Option or Alt key, I'll drag another one right there. If it's off a little bit, who cares? You're going to delete your scan at the end anyway. Shift and Option or Alt key right there. And then I'm going to start right about here. Actually, this is pretty big, so let's start over here. Shift key to drag a circle. When it's about the same size, I'm not going to let go of my mouse or my Shift key. I'm going to hold my space bar and now move my mouse to reposition. Not quite exactly the right size, so I just let go of the space bar. I'm still holding my mouse. I'm still holding my Shift key, and now drag the mouse a little more just to resize that circle right there. Okay, I have drawn one complete circle, but this circle actually has a little chunk taken out of it, like a bite. So here's a really cool construction trick. I'm going to start over here. Click and drag an oval, hold my space bar, and bump it up against that curve right there. I'm going to click and drag another oval, hold my space bar, and bump it up against that bump right there in the middle. Drag another oval, hold my space bar, and bump it up against that bottom curve right there. Overlap. Okay, that is the secret. So now I'm going to take my black arrow and select the big circle and just hit the 3 smaller ovals. I don't want to hit this guy yet. Just the big circle and these little bites. Okay, with all of that selected, just so you can see what's going to happen, I'm going to fill that with a color. Let's say this light pink or purple. Right over here, you have what's called a shape builder tool. I'm going to click on that. When I come out on the screen, it has a plus. So what I'm going to do is hold my Option or Alt key and it gives me a minus. When you have the minus, you can click and drag, and whatever this line hits, it will scrape away when you let go of your mouse. So I'm going to hold that Option or Alt key and just scrape away right there and there and there and there and there and there, there. Look at that. I took a bite right out of it. Got this little piece floating out here, so I'm just going to hold my Option key. Whatever this line hits, it will only work on the selected part. See, it won't work there because I didn't select that. So that is your shape builder while holding your Option or Alt key. What a great little shortcut. Instead of trying to draw all these with the pen tool, why? Ellipses are so much easier to draw. And you use the shape of smaller ellipses to take a bite out of the bigger one. So now let's say I want this planet, shift and select this planet, shift and select this little planet, and I want them all to be purple. I take my eyedropper, click on the big one, and now they all match. I can select them one more time, click on the stroke, and hit the question mark key. Now I have a bunch of purple planets on a purple alien sky. Once you get going here, first 2 or 3 layers, File menu, Save As. You have to save this as your file. So last name, first name, alien scene. On your desktop, you do not change the format, and you simply click Save, and you click OK. So I'll draw a couple other things. The mountain range right here, D for default colors. Click on the white, hit the question mark key, and I'll just draw that with my pen tool. So remember, it starts outside. Click, 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 and I'm just going to keep clicking away. Luckily, this mountain range is nothing but straight edges. I go into the cockpit of the UFO because it overlaps. Then I'll come over here, click, and then I'll come right back out into the mountain range, and I'll keep drawing these little straight edges. If you're a little bit off like that, don't worry. Just make an extra bump. Okay. As long as you are close to the original shape, that's cool. But if you're way off, then I would erase it and do it again. But minor little mistakes, like a little bit off, nobody's going to know when you delete your scan. So remember, you cannot go from here straight across to there. You got to come around all the way across the bottom, all the way down here, and all the way back to the start. Now I can come in and let's turn on my layers here. So I have kind of purple planets on a purple sky. So maybe let's go with a darker purple mountain range right there. Kind of keep the whole color scheme going. I click on my stroke, hit the question mark key, and there's another big chunk of my illustration starting. I'll turn off those 3 eyeballs. Command S on my Mac to save my progress. That'll be Control S on a PC. And now I have number 4, the ground. D for default colors. Click on my white fill, hit the question mark key, and since that's all curves, that's going to be my pen tool. Remember, it does not start on the edge of the illustration. It starts outside. Down, let go and move, up, let go and move, down, let go and move, up, let go and move. This is a really long distance, so maybe I'll go right here at the top of that hill. Across the top, come down, outside the illustration, down, down, across, and back to the start. Now I can turn on all my layers. Maybe I want kind of a yellowish tone for the ground. So maybe we'll go right down in here, kind of go with a lighter tone for the ground. And let's say I don't really like that. I want kind of an off hint, but all I get is this weird little spectrum. So what's nice is you can come up to the upper left. You get two tiny little triangles. Click them once. It will collapse your color panel. Click them again, and now you have sliders. You got the same little rainbow spectrum right here, but now you have sliders. So I could say, okay, maybe a little bit less yellow, maybe a little bit more magenta and blue. Kind of creates a brownish tone right there, or maybe less. There we go. I get kind of a purplish brown right in there because I've mixed a little bit of yellow. But now I can really fine tune my color. Click on it, click the stroke, question mark key. I strip off those layers. I'll do one or two more. I'll go to number 5, the bottom hills. Okay. D for default colors. Click on the white, hit the question mark key, and those are also going to be drawn with the pen tool. They start outside the illustration, they go up, let go and move. Now they come down, let go and move. Now they come back up, let go and move. Now they come back down, let go and move. Now they come back up, let go and move. Now I go down, down, across, and back to the start. I'll turn on my layers. Now with my black arrow, I can select the edge, take my eyedropper, sample this hill right there. But now I go to my color panel, maybe add a little more magenta, a little more blue, a little more yellow right there. So I do kind of a darker variation of those two hills, maybe even a little black. Take my black arrow, click outside, save your progress as you go. And then I strip those layers off. So the rest is up to you. Okay. Number 9 is the legs. I would draw one leg, then a foot. And let me show you that one, because that's the last trick, and then the rest is up to you to draw how you want and what colors you want. Okay? You got to do a lot of nice little curves, so it's good practice with the pen tool. What I'm going to do here on the UFO legs, D for default colors. Click on white, hit the question mark key, and I'm going to zoom in on this left leg. Okay, notice how the leg is separate from the foot. So I would think of that as two separate objects. I'm going to go with my pen tool. This leg does not come down and stop on the edge of the foot. You overlap. Okay? And let's say you can't tell where to line that up. It doesn't matter. I'll start over here. Click. It doesn't end on the UFO. It overlaps. Click, 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 back to the start. Notice how I got nothing right. That doesn't matter. You have a white arrow. I can pull that point and line it up. I can pull that point and line it up. I can pull that point down and line it up. I can pull that point over and line it up. It's Illustrator. It's flexible. That's the beauty of the white arrow. Now I switch back to my pen tool and I see a horizontal edge, but I also see a vertical edge. So I'm going to start right here. Click, shift click down, shift click across, shift click up, and now I let go of the keyboard for angles. Click, shift click to come straight across, and click. I'll zoom out, Option or Alt click with my zoom tool, and notice how I only drew one leg because the opposite is a mirrored copy. So whenever I can see the possibility of using a shortcut, I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to select this foot on my swatches. Maybe we'll give the foot a darker gray, right about there. I'll select the leg and we'll give that a lighter gray right there. Now when I select both of them, I want to make a copy that jumps over to here. I don't want to have to waste my time drawing the same thing twice. So with my black arrow, I select the leg. Right over here is your rotate tool, but if you press and hold, you have a reflect tool. Okay, in order to get this leg to jump across the center, the middle of this UFO, like a mirrored copy, I'm going to focus right down the center of this circle. Okay, and all I have to do is hold my Option or Alt key. Now when I click one time while holding Option or Alt, I click. There is the axis for the reflect tool. What do you want to reflect it across? The vertical axis of this UFO. See, there's the original. Flip. There's the other one. Okay, I don't know how I lucked out, but man, I nailed it. I mean, it landed right where it should have. But let's say, I'm going to cancel that. Let's say you're bad at geometry and you can't measure the angle or the center of this UFO, okay? Select your artwork with your black arrow. Press and hold on the rotate and go to reflect. And again, if I estimated the center to be not right here, but let's say over here, I hold Option or Alt key, click, and I was a little bit off, which means it's going to jump a little further out. No big deal. I flip a copy. Keeps the original and flips a copy. With your black arrow, you can hit your left arrow key on your keyboard to move it back like that. Not a problem. That's called nudging. I just nudge it over with my right arrow key by holding it down, or nudge it over with the left arrow key by holding it down. And there we go. Now, I want this illustration to look nice and slick. So you'll notice everything that I've been drawing has no outlines. My planet or my mountain has no outlines. The planets have no outlines. The hills have no outlines. I just want a nice, simple, clean look. So I want to be consistent with that. I'm going to click, shift click, shift click, shift click, click on the black stroke, and hit the question mark key. Now I've got everything looking nice and consistent. I can strip off those layers and continue with the engine and then the cockpit and the body and everything else. The rest will be up to you. Use whatever colors you want. Go in and work with flat colors. Go into the bottom left corner, library on your swatches. Go in with other gradients if you want to. It's totally up to you. If you want to throw in some extra goofy things here and there, Like we did on the sailboat scene, I would love to see how creative you can be. You have symbols. Go to the bottom left corner. There's your libraries. You can look through these and see what's in there. You know, indigenous symbols or nature symbols. Again, you could throw in a plant. You know, if I clicked on a plant and then dragged it in, you can have plants in your scene. So put some pine trees up on the mountain, whatever you want. I want you to play around with Illustrator. Start poking around this program. Got swatches and libraries full of color. You've got symbols and libraries full of extra pieces of art. It's totally up to you. This is now your illustration. Like we did on the sailboat, you're following the same steps. Do the illustration. Draw your clipping mask. There we go. Border for the final clipping mask. You throw away your scan at the end. I don't need to see your scan. I need to see your Illustrator art. Throw away your instructions. I don't need to see the type at the bottom. I just want to see a really creative UFO alien drawing. Colors, totally up to you. Good luck. I look forward to seeing what you come up with, not just what I've drawn. Impress me. I'm your teacher. I would appreciate it. All right. I'll see you next time.